All right, so this is going to be part 2 of the unit circle notes that we were talking about before, okay? It says without using your big unit circle. And remember, what I said in the last video, it's a good idea for you guys to either create your own, and I actually have one. I can place it on Schoology for you guys, or just go online, type in unit circle, and you can print one off this size. But it's going to be very useful for you guys to use when you're doing all this work, okay? All right. So it says find the exact. Exact means no decimals. We want the radical signs. We want the expression not to have any decimals in it. Quarter each rotation, find the sine and the cosine. So you guys just remember from our previous notes that cosine is the x and sine is going to be your y value. So what they're asking is if this is find the sine, you're finding the y value of that coordinate. Okay? All right, so find the cosine of 135. So we're going to start here with our initial end, and we're going to rotate. Now 135 degrees is right here. That is 135 degrees. You gotta be careful, guys. When you're finding this point, you want that reference angle. We've said it a couple times. That reference angle is this guy right here. We're looking at this triangle, that one. All right, so that reference angle is a 45, because if we go to 135, okay, we've got another 45 to get to 180. So that reference angle is 45. So that tells us that this is a 45, 45, 90. All right, so if I remember from our last notes, okay, this right here, coordinate is going to be root 2 over 2 and then root 2 over 2. Now, since we went in a negative direction, that's going to be a negative root 2 over 2. All right, make that a little bigger for you guys. Okay, now I want the cosine of 135 degrees. So cosine is the x value. So that's this guy right here. So the cosine of 135 degrees is negative root 2 over 2. All right? All right, let me show you guys something with your calculators real quick if you guys can see this. All right, first thing we want to do is go to mode and make sure that we're in degree mode. Okay, so we're going to make sure we're in degree mode. Quit. All right, if I want to find the cosine of 135 degrees, all right, cosine of 135 degrees, it comes out to that. All right, now look, I'm going to take my answer, negative root 2 divided by 2, and guess what? Look at that, it comes out to the exact same value. All right, so this is what we mean by the exact value though. So I don't want you guys just typing that in, all right, but it just goes to show you that that cosine of 135 degrees, we found that by rotating around that unit circle, okay? Now, what's the sine? The sine is the y value, so that's root 2 over 2. Okay, cool. All right, with the next one. Cosine and the sine of 210 degrees. All right, again, we start at the initial end, and we go to 210. 210 goes all the way around the circle, 180 plus another what? 30, right? So that's 210 degrees. All right, but we're looking at this reference angle here, okay? So that's a 30, 60, 90, okay? So we know that this is the shortest leg. That means we're going down. Okay, that's my y coordinate, so that's going to be negative 1/2. And then this is going to be negative root 3 over 2. And you guys, it says without your unit circle, but if you're having trouble, use that big unit circle, okay, this one right here, and find those values just to kind of help you refresh your memory. All right? Okay, but they're both negative because they're in this quadrant. Now, the cosine, again, cosine is the x coordinate, right? So it's this negative root 3 over 2. And then this one, the sine is negative 1/2. All right, those are the exact. Now, just to double check, watch this. Cosine of 210 degrees is negative 0.86602. And if I type that in, I get the exact same thing. All right. All right, cool. Number 3, look at this one. We got the cosine and the sine of 90 degrees. All right, so here's 90 degrees. Hopefully you guys know what that is, right? All right, 90 degrees is, to get to this point on the coordinate graph, we're gonna go 0 and then up 1. 0, 1. Okay, all right. So what's the cosine of 90? The cosine of 90 is the x-coordinate, which is 0, and the sine of 90, which is the y-coordinate, which is 1. Okay, easy. Number 4, cosine of 270. All right, you guys, four of these angles you should know pretty well right off the bat: 90, 180, 270, and 360, right? So 270 is that angle right there. All right, 270 degrees. All right, well, this point we're looking at right there has ordered pair of 0, comma, -1. So cosine is 0, the sine is -1. All right. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Let's skip to number. All right, look at this one right here, number 5. This is a negative. Don't freak out with that one or get confused, right? Negative just means we're rotating this time in a clockwise direction. Okay, so if we start here with my initial end, 135 is going to be what? 90 plus another 45. So I'm going in that direction. So that's negative 135 degrees. So it lands me right there. Now you could also go all the way around this way. Remember we talked about those angles that are skipping my mind here. The angles that share that side, right? They're coterminal. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. They're coterminal angles, right? So if this is 135, if I went around that way, all right, that's 180 plus another 45. Okay, so 215, all right? All right, so either you can go this way or this way. It doesn't really matter. You're still rotating in the exact same spot. All right, so if we drop this without using a unit circle, the way we can do this is if I drop that reference angle, okay, I know that this is a 45, 45, 90. So root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. Now this is in the third quadrant, so these are both going to be negative directions. Okay? So this is negative root 2 over 2 and negative root 2 over 2. So if I wanted the cosine of negative 135, again, that's negative root 2 over 2, and then the sine is the exact same. Okay? All right, let's flip it over to the back side here and do a couple of these. All right, when asked to find the sine or cosine of an angle that is not between 0 and 360, find the, here we go, coterminal angle by adding or subtracting 360, so you can use a unit circle to find the reference. Okay, so what that means is right here, we got negative 495, right? Well, it's not very useful for us to go, 495. Obviously, that's bigger than 360, so we're going to go around one full time. So I'm going to take negative 495, but this time I'm going to add 360 to that. All right, and if I do that, I get negative 135 degrees. All right, so now what I can do is I can take that angle, start here, and all this is saying is that I went around 360 plus another 135, okay? All right, well, we just did this one. All right, so this one is negative root 2 over 2. Oops, sorry guys. And negative root 2 over 2. All right, so they said, what's the sine? So I want the y value, right? So the sine of negative 495 is equal to negative root 2 over 2. And again, just to double check, if I use my calculator, I want the sine of negative 495. It's going to give me, and remember that comes out to exactly what that is. All right, awesome. And then we'll just do one more. Look at example number 8. What's the cosine of negative 300? Once again, I'm starting at my my initial side. I'm going all the way around to 300. Okay, so that's going to be all the way around. Now I'm going to leave 60 degrees. This is negative 300. So if I drop down that reference and make that reference angle, that's going to be a 30, 60, 90, right? All right, this is the shortest leg, so that's 1/2. And then the second longest leg is the root 3 over 2. Okay. What's the exact value of the cosine is the x. So the cosine of negative 300 is equal to 1/2. So what this is showing us, guys, is how to find these values without using the unit circle, okay? So a lot of what we're gonna do is use the unit circle to find this stuff. So I'm hoping that helps you out a little bit. Please make sure that you guys are finishing the homework assignments and then uploading a picture of them to Schoology so that I can see them, okay? All right, guys, see you later.